Hey everybody, I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to As Above, So Below, a rune and tarot divination for Monday, the 23rd day of September 2024. Well, I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. We're in Libra now. The sun is in Libra. My birth month, my astrological sign. Let's go ahead and take the rune here for today from the Elder Futhark. For the above side, we have Degas. Now, if I had gotten up in and been out there at 5:44 a.m. yesterday, I would have done a Degas ritual for the equinox to experience the end of one phase and the beginning of a new one, and the shift in light and dark, daytime and nighttime. Now the daytime is waning and the nighttime's increasing. But Degas is about a new day. It's the 23rd rune of the Elder Futhark, which actually aligns with today's 23rd day. So that's kind of interesting. 23 reduces to 5, and so it represents change, also protection and variety and innovation and freedom versus restriction. But it's about the shift. It's about some kind of a shift into something else, into a new day. All options available. All doors are open. It's awakening, and it's about endings and beginnings. The dawn of a new day, if you will. But it's the feeling of something's coming to an end and something new is on the horizon, and not just the shift in the daylight hours, but maybe I suppose if it affects you, then or I'm not ready for that yet. I have to still do the Geomancy rune, but we'll see. Let's do the Geomancy rune and see if the below side of things, the ego side of things, can either support this or challenge it or something. We'll see. So we have a single dot for fire. Where's air? 2 for okay. All right. We have Puella or Puella. Puella or Puella and Pur, its complement. This is the youthful energy in the Geomancy set. Here's Puella, means little girl energy. Pur, its complement would be little boy energy. Both are scattered. Usually with Pur on the little boy side of things, you're talking about a lack of impulse control, and it's true on the Puella side, the little girl side. But you're talking about energy that's curious, and so they're gonna not be too focused, and I was a Puella growing up, and although I could focus in when I was reading or something, and I mean you couldn't even disturb me. I wouldn't even answer you if I was reading something, but generally speaking, I was interested in a lot of different things, and that's that type of energy. And so if all doors are open and all options are available with Degas, then your curiosity can take you anywhere you want to go here with this. It's not necessarily something that builds on the past, although it could be with Degas, but it could be something new and exciting in your life that could come your way, where you can manifest in a whole new way something for yourself, a new opportunity, for example, or maybe steps outside your comfort zone, or the normal stuff you might have always done. Now the sky's the limit, and there's lots of things out there that are interesting you. They're interesting to you, in other words. So let's start with that, and then let's. I've already done a whole bunch of shuffling, so I'm not going to do really any here. I'm just going to shift the cards around a little bit. And then I'll cut the deck and I'll take the lower half and we'll see what the cards have to say. Well, we have one card from the Major Arcana, one from Swords, and one from Pentacles. With the idea of Degas and all things being possible. At some point, you're going to come full circle and you're going to have your synthesis and reward. So we're going to put this at the top here of the card aspect of the reading. This is 21st card of the Major Arcana. It has a 3 numerology, so there's a sense of integration there. Whereas the you saw these same wands, only one in the Magician's hand in as card 1 of Major Arcana, beginning the soul's journey here, because the Major Arcana are soul archetype cards, and so it's the overall principles the soul is going to experience while in form. And then the Minor Arcana and the court cards, they're the essentially the details of things, the challenges you might face, or the experiences you might have, or the things you need to consider. You see the fixed signs of the zodiac all around here. You see, or representations of it. You see the lemniscates, which you see the figure 8s in the card of strength. You see one there. And in other cards, you see the lemniscate. So it's the circular nature of the cyclical nature of things. And there's nothing is broken here. So that you basically come into your completion, and you've received everything's come together for you, and you're receiving your reward. Theoretically, that's at the end of your life in terms of the major arcana, but it doesn't have to be. So this could be either representing the goal of all of this, or it could represent essentially, you could look at Degas as a lemniscate, and as one period coming to an end and a new one beginning. So why don't we think of the world as not something that is the final outcome? Why don't we think of it as just the midpoint between what has been and what's coming? And the reason I say that is, well, you know what? Before I go any further and get into that, let me do the numerology here. So we said Degas was the 23rd rune. We have a 7. We have the 21. And we have a 6. Well, somehow I got 264. How did I do that? You never know. I need to watch what I'm doing here. See, 21 plus 7. 58. 8 and 5 is 13. 3 and 1 is 4. So something having to do with foundation and structure and dependability and pragmatism and all of that. Whatever you're going to choose here with Degas going forward is going to have some type of structure that is pragmatic based, responsibility based, dependability, grounded. So whatever direction you're going to go here is going to have to do with that. And I think here, let's see, let me put that 4 down so I don't forget. So if we're going to align the world then with Degas, where we've come full circle and now we're ready to begin again, with one period ending and another one beginning with Degas. Here with the 7 of Pentacles, we're going to take stock of what we have. You know, you see a farmer leaning on his rake or hoe or whatever it is. You can't really tell down there what it is, but he's looking at the grapes and how much he's got. Those are grapevines. Grapes always indicate abundance in the Rider-Waite tarot, and so he's taking a look at and observing. 7 is about observing and taking stock and letting things settle out so you understand what you're looking at. And he needs to know, do I have enough? Do I have enough to get my family through the winter? Do I have enough to sell? You know, what have I got here? Do I need more? And so he's having to make that decision here. So he's looking at it very carefully, very critically, to be sure that he either has enough or he needs to do something to get a little more, so that he has enough. And in a sense, you know, if you want to look at it in terms of harvest, you know, that's the one period is ending and another period is now beginning. He's having to make some decisions about his future. And here we see the 6 of swords. Swords is the intellect and its ideas, its decisions. It's the intellectual side of things, the mental side of things. It's communication, balance, justice. But here we have a family, and I have always interpreted this as the family of this is the dad, and this is the mom, and that's the child. But this could be just some guy they've got, to ferry them across the water here. But it's winter, and you have a sense of new beginnings with winter. Everything is coming to with the fall and the harvest and all of that. You're coming to the end of one period, and then winter comes, and you have a period of downtime, where you can plan, and you make plans for the future. And then when spring comes, you've decided what you're going to plant, and I mean those of us that garden do this. We usually take because that's when the catalogs start coming in. The seed catalogs you get. I mean, if you get those things, I do. I mean, get a ton of them. But that's the time of year where you're doing your planning, and and in this case, the family's heading in a new direction. The Six of Swords is technically thought of as a journey over water. But it's water that's frozen. You have very little that's this whole, the other side of it is all frozen. They've got a little bit there that they're able to push through. But they're bringing their thoughts and perceptions and their ideas and what they've learned with them as they embark upon a new path. Again, 9 is about endings and completion, spirituality and generosity. And so in a sense, you have the side of the Degas where you have the endings, an hourglass there, or the beginning of a Merkaba. You have the side here where this is the endings. Here's where they're going across the water, and this is their new beginning. All right, and they have all of and they're willing to do this because they have the curiosity of Puella, that tells them that anything is possible. That they're not really going on impulse. They've made some decisions here, obviously, to take this journey to something new, to new thoughts and perceptions, to a new shift in how they see things and do things. They've taken stock of what they have, and maybe they just want to make a change. And so to me, this whole reading represents Degas, and having the curiosity to step outside one's comfort zone and to try something different, to take advantage of the downtime and move in a different direction, and then as they're making their plans for the future to manifest in the spring, we'll say. And so I think with the 4 overall numerology for the reading, it's suggesting that what we have here is a change in structure. So maybe a change in homes, a change in jobs, something that you're going to a new place, essentially. And so this could indicate that maybe you're getting ready to make a decision about maybe moving to a different city or just to a different house. Maybe you're going to buy a home. Maybe you've decided you have enough and you can buy a home. Or maybe you decide that you don't have enough and you need to relocate to where you can, to where the job that you have could maybe, that you're going to take is more lucrative than the one you have. But again, one period is ending with Degas and another is possible. Okay, and all doors are open, all paths are there. Anything can happen. The future is uncharted. Although you do have to make a decision about it. And here, they've got their ducks in a row, essentially. They know where they're going. And irrespective of the challenges ahead, they're ready to make that decision to go and to change and to essentially embark on something that's new. And so, again, with Pentacles starting it out, I have to think that it could have something to do with material security. And again, maybe you got a job offer, or you've put out feelers and you're entertaining several job offers, and you've kind of narrowed it down, but you've got to go in a different direction. And the 6 of Swords is essentially describing that. So maybe you come full circle with the world and you've gone as far as you can go. And in this Degas moment, you're ready to move on to something else. And so you've completed one cycle of your life, and now you're ready to move into another cycle, and you're taking with you all that you've learned, all that you've experienced, in a way that can then benefit you in whatever decision you make in the future or about your future. And again, with Puella, you're not fixated on any one thing. You're looking at a lot of different ideas, a lot of different potentialities, and you're very curious. And maybe you're going to do something that's totally different than what you've ever done before. And you just need a little bit of downtime to really let it all come together, and you move on and make that decision. And again, it just seems to me relocating is part of it. Maybe not far from where you are, but maybe it's enough that it puts your kids in another school district or something. But at minimum, it could be a change in a job for you. After taking stock of what you have, maybe you realize that there's more opportunities out there, and that this really is a good time for you to make a change and to pursue something else. And with Degas, it would certainly reinforce that. Um, so, but with the 4 for the whole reading, there's got to be something practical about it as well. It can't be something where you just decide on a whim to go do something else without really researching it, and that 6 of swords could be indicating that you have done your due diligence, and you know more about what it is you want to do. Whereas with Puella, it might be a little more, let's follow the butterfly wherever it goes. Well, it's like, no, maybe the butterfly is going someplace it shouldn't. But it reminds me of my granddaughter running after a butterfly in the field. She's excited, and then maybe she'll see a snake, or she'll see something else, and then want to look at that. Well, this is the time to do that. This is the time to explore, and before you make that decision as to what it is you want to do. But this may be a time where you just feel like you've gone as far as you can go with something, and now it's time to do something else. And again, there's that completion and synthesis and reward with the world, where you're ready to do something else. And I think it's interesting with the fixed signs of the zodiac there. 4 is kind of a fixed number, so it sort of says there's some due diligence, and there's some practicality, and there's making sure that you know what you're doing, and not just take the first thing that comes along that seems interesting. It might be the thing you end up with, but maybe you want to look at other things as well before making that decision. But in any event, if that's the case, then good luck with your new path, and again, do your due diligence to make sure it's going to indeed be something that'll be more lucrative than what you came from. That'll give you more material security. In other words. Maybe there's a chance for advancement within it that there isn't with the job you're currently in, something like that. Maybe you've gone as far as you can go there, and that's that. So you're ready to move on. So I think that's it. I think we did it. Kind of good thing for a Monday. But it's also scary, to make that decision and to move into the unknown. Even though you do your due diligence, there's still a lot of unknown about something like that. And so it can be a little scary and a little exciting all at the same time. And, but just remember, all doors are open with Degas. All options are on the table, and a new day is dawning. So make the most of it. So I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. And everything's up on the blog over at Stepping Aside, the forecasts for the week, the correspondences for work and magic, if you're magically inclined. Let's see, the astrological overview for the week is there, where the moon is all week long, and where the other planets are, and what, where they are, and in what sign they're in. And then there's the herbal magic thing I have up. I'm doing a series on that. I think, no, chamomile's next week. I think this week was cayenne. cayenne peppers, I believe. Anyway, I work a week ahead, so I never know what I'm doing. But anyway. But if you want to check out the blog, that'd be awesome. It's called Stepping Aside. The web address there is imsteppingaside.com. If you forget, click on more below the video here. You'll see a little thing that says more. It opens up a window, and you'll see the web address there. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the dreaded social media sites I'm on. So you can follow me over there. I usually follow back if I see it. Sometimes I don't see it, and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to do that. But in any event, looks like something is sending me an email. Oh, okay, or a text. It's nothing. But anyway, check all that out. I also publish my stuff over on Patreon and Medium and Substack, and so there's also links down below in the more section that shows you the addresses there for where I'm at. And so I guess that's it. I don't think there's anything else going on this week I need to mention. Other than, click subscribe if you haven't. I'd love you to do that, and come back again on Thursday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.